of Joburg, and that's you, our regular guest on the show. He's on every Wednesday morning, round about this time. He is Dr. Tshepo Moloi, and he is talking to us. We're picking up from an interview last week, and we're talking about a huge event. It's the commemoration, a century of existence of the University of Wits, and we put we put four questions to him last week. We only managed to answer two, and the two very important questions this week to Dr. Moloi is the first one being transformation of wits. What exactly are we talking about? Transformation of what? Is it transformation of mindsets? Is it transformation of the type of education that's being offered? So let's look at that issue. And then question number two, is this relevant in the current era of decolonization? That's really got me thinking. And I'm kind of wondering, why are we asking a question like that? Are educational institutions irrelevant till the end of, should they not be relevant till the end of time, whether in a colonized society or a decolonized society? What needs to change for them to fit in with the changing times, with the changing views, with the changing ideologies and philosophies? Dr. Tshepo Moloi, a very good morning. Salaam alaikum and welcome to the program.
Assalamu alaikum, Julie, and a jolly good morning to the listeners.
Okay,
Uh,
you've heard my thoughts regarding the two questions, transformation and the relevance of an institution like WITS in the current era. So over to you, and let's tackle these very big issues.
okay, thank you very much. So, just to get right into the deep end, when we talk about transformation with the University of Witwatersrand, it will be helpful for us to just have a picture of what does the university today look like? What does it entail? What is its leadership structure? So I'm thinking. Let me begin with that. So VET 2022 has five campuses, and the um, previous chancellor, who is the first black chancellor in the history of the university, was the Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke, and the current chancellor, and who is the first black female chancellor in the history of the university, is Dr. Judy Dlamini. And then with the VCs, the vice chancellors, the first black chancellor, black vice chancellor is Professor Loyiso Maloma, who was a mathematician. And then he was followed up by Professor Adam Habib, the political scientist, who's now in London at the School of African Studies. He was coming from UJ when they appointed him, which is why I emphasize that the history of UJ can't run away from its origins as well. And then you have the current vice chancellor is the scientist, Professor Zeblon Vilagazi. He's a vet. He's a former vet student. He did his PhD in physics at vet. And then if you look at the council of the university, it's only beginning to have the first black female chairperson of council, Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng. We now know she is the current VC at University of Cape Town. The current chairperson, however, is Mr. Isaac Shongwe. And then we look at, last week I spoke about the honorary doctorate, but I didn't give the full name. The first time they give an honorary doctorate to a black person or a person of color is in 1976, and it was Reverend Ezekiel Egbert Efo Mahabane. And they gave him an honorary doctorate of laws. Women, the first women who come to this is in 1923, and of course these are white women, and the leading activist woman there was Margaret Marlinga. And, she championed the anti-women campaign. She championed the inequalities of women at vets on salaries, retirement age. Interestingly, in her case, she also had to fight the university because if you get married, you must retire immediately. That was the culture of vets. That is how patriarchal the university was. It was male-dominated views, cultures, and so she stands out. But the first black student to come at VET, to attend VET was today I'll say Dr. Benedict Wallet Vilakazi of the Vilakazi Street fame in Soweto. He came in 1935 to join the Bantu Studies Department under Professor Clement Doak. And he was a Zulu author, writer. He's the first. He's got so many firsts. First black student at VET, first black to teach white students at university. First to get a master's, a PhD, not just at VET, but in the country. So Benedict Wallet Vilakazi, right? And then the first black lady or black student to become SRC president at VET was in 1992, and that was Miss Linda Vilakazi. This.
By the way, was she Dr. Vilakazi's daughter, Professor Vilakazi's daughter?
I'll be lying. I still need to make
okay.
That. Yeah.
All right, carry on.
But my concern with her is when VET chooses to write its own history, she's nowhere. Most of these people that I'm talking about is because they're current. Linda is nowhere.
Okay, can I interrupt you here, Dr. Moloi? Let me just interrupt you here. Can I interrupt you here?
Yeah.
Okay. What I want to know, I'm hearing a bit of feedback on my earphones. I hope you receiving me clearly. I'm not sure what's going on, but Nasreen is trying to sort that out. What I want to understand here is, even in last week's show, you gave us you sketched such a deep historical picture of black input at Wits University from really the beginning from the start of the university. Have Wits University documented this rich history? Because it's very, very important. And is that then talking to the second question, which is Wits relevant to the current era of decolonization? Are you suggesting, by giving us this deep history of it is what it is, the black struggle in South Africa, to be counted, to be noted, it is the duty of Wits to record this and publish this history? And indirectly, are you saying that it hasn't been done?
Not indirectly. I am saying it directly.
Directly.
It's in
okay,
the
directly.
If you go to the VET's website and you go and you just look at when they write about the VET's history, there is the proof for anyone in the public to go and see my criticism.
Okay.
They do not say these things, I'm telling you.
Okay, inshallah, by way of this program, we are going to correct that omission on the part of Wits. I'm going to forward all of these podcasts to them and suggest that they correct and get history right, and obviously recognize the input from black alumni, black students, etc. On this 100th year of them being in business, so to speak. Please continue.
Okay, so it's very important because we are speaking about transformation, and I'm going to just say / decolonization. I've already given you details now of what the universities, the senior people in positions at council, at VC level, and at chancellor level, and at even SRC. I've given you just an overview. Now, we cannot talk to transformation without going back to what I spoke about last week, which was understanding the origin of the university. And because of time, I did say it's a broad origin, but I want people to take seriously what some of the in-depth work that has been done on the origins of vets. One of the authors that people must take note of is Bruce Murray. He has written about vets and the open years. And then the other author is Luli Kalinikos. Very important that, she actually takes us to support what Motoko Peko claims as the origins of vets in his book, Apartheid, the Story of the Dispossessed People. He says that land where vets is today was actually called Hara Mohale. Now, Mohale was a chief. And what Luli Kalikos does in her book is support this to say the territory was fought for and won from the Sutus, Swazis, Tswanas, Pedis, Vendors, and the Transvaal Ndebele. Now, this kind of history is really what you need to address when you talk of transformation and vets. Now, with that said, remember, the founding thinker or the founding architect of vets was Lord Alfred Milner. And, this was an English statesman and a colonial administrator. And I'm going to quote what he says when he's thinking about founding what today we call vets, because it wasn't called vets. He says, an institution of higher learning had a dual purpose. It had to serve the needs of the mines, we remember because of the discovery of gold in the Witwatersrand and diamonds. And then he says, but because we are colonizers from the British Empire, the second objective was, and I'm going to quote here, a secondary objective of Milner's Oxford-educated policymakers. Keyword, Oxford. So that really is a transplantation of Oxford University's thinking, traditions, cultures, and people mustn't miss that when they talk about the liberal tradition that vets would have and would basically self-identify as. Under the brilliant young first VC, which was Jan Hofmeyr. I say brilliant because he studied at Oxford, by far. He was very young when he graduated. And when Jan Smuts would appoint him, forward his name to the university to be the first vice chancellor and principal, he basically gave the speeches. Coming from Oxford, being a graduate of Oxford, he basically rubber-stamped Lord Alfred Milner's dream and ambition of this university. And that
okay. All right. Can I just ask you to pause there, please? Dr. Moloi, please, may I ask you to pause there for a minute? We need to take an ad break. When we get back, we'll pick up from where we've left off, if you don't mind.
Okay.
One small gesture can change someone's life. The SANZAF Meals Distribution Project aims to reach out to 100,000 individuals each month with prepared meals daily. With your assistance, we can make this possible for contributors to 12 rand per meal. Call us on 011 834 6046 for more information. SANZAF, changing lives through development and relief.
Alhamdulillah, we are finally free of riba. But it smells lovely.
Yeah, with Yakina, I managed to stop all the riba, Hajo. This insurance price is going up again.
Oh, we are not free of riba, Babu. You need to stop the insurance.
We have to have insurance, Hajo. You know how bad it is with all the crime and the accidents.
Have a little yakin now, Babu.
Yeah, man, I do have a little yakin. But I wish there was a way to leave all these riba insurance companies, man. Dis sommer riba.
Babu, I can't handle this. The stench. It stinks.
Is that my underarms?
No, the riba stinks. Please find a way to stop this riba insurance, Babu.
Leaving Riba Insurance is easier than you think. Call Amana IFS for all your personal and commercial takaful needs. 0861 786 393. Amana, leave Riba for good. Amana IFS is a registered financial services provider.
Reliable access to clean water could save thousands of lives each day. With proper sanitation and easy access to fresh, clean water, communities can flourish. Our Thirst Relief Appeal provides clean water to communities in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East by building deep wells and providing sustainable water and hygiene solutions. A monthly donation of as little as 700 Rand could build a well for a community in need. That's only 23 Rand a day. Donate today, www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 11 00 573. Penny Appeal, small change, big difference.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain developing company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
Welcome back. It is exactly 9:37 a.m. We are talking with Dr. Tshepo Moloi. And of course, we're talking about the transformation of WITS. And question number 2, is WITS relevant in the current era of decolonization? And this, we are obviously talking about these issues because WITS celebrates its 100th year of existence. It is 9:37. We will hand over to Dr. Moloi and we'll be wrapping up this interview at 9:45 exactly. So welcome back to you, Dr. Moloi, and I hand over to you to continue this very interesting talk on the history of not only WITS University, but the City of Gold, the formation of Johannesburg in the early days when the gold rush started.
Okay, so thank you very much, Julie. Just as an aside, we did not define transformation and we did not define decolonization. And because we don't have much time, I'm just going to say quickly what my definition of transformation is in the context of WITS and decolonization. Transformation is basically responding to what the society or the government of the day demands in terms of policy. Okay, so the institution needs to be consistent with those policy shifts. So non-racialism, access to the university to the broader population of the country, blah blah blah. That's transformation. Decolonization is different. Decolonization, I think, if we just simplify it, is basically to overcome and to take decisions that are going to be directly, dismissing decisions that were made by colonizers for the purposes of the colonial agenda. Okay, so let's be clear about these two definitions. Now, I'm saying to talk to them in the context of vets, you need to have an appreciation of the history of vets. Something I did not tell you is the original money that was raised to build and erect what today we call Wits University. That was under the mayor, the magnate Sir Alfred Bates, and he donated a farm, what of course today is Braamfontein. And this farm, well, no, actually, Frankenwald. This is in the north of Johannesburg, so it's not Braamfontein. And the money he donated was 220,000 pounds. Guess what Jan Smuts decides to do? He takes this money. Of course, Jan Smuts at this time is the Minister of Education. A lot of people miss that. They always look at Jan Smuts and remember him as the statesman. He was the Minister of Education at this time. This is in the 1910s onwards. No. This is just before the 1910s. Right. So he takes this money and he gives it to what today we call UCT. So UCT benefited from the original money that was supposed to go to the campus of the University of Witwatersrand. Anyway, that's why I tell you these details is this, because we're talking about transformation and / decolonization. We must always be mindful that the government of the day will dictate what is actually feasible and takes place on the ground. Because Lord Alfred Milner enjoyed a lot of power and authority from the British Empire, and he was, after all, a colonial administrator. You know, he says the reason for this Oxford-ish university that he wants to think of, that must be built here, is because it's supposed to be a building bridge between the Breton and the Boer and the Bantu, and creating a brave new nation for the 20th century. And this is what's going to be needed in the future Commonwealth, you know, in the agenda of the Commonwealth nation. Now, I want to fast forward because that is the origins, and we need to keep that in mind. Wits University today has fast forwarded so much of his transformational agenda. It has a transformation office. And if you go onto their website, they have this information there. So it's in the transformation office. They have what they call 8 key priorities. And these are part of their documents that they have available for the public. And I'm just going to read quickly what the 8 are. Diversifying Wits Academy. Curriculum reform, number 2. Number 3, student admissions. Number 4, promote diverse cosmopolitan residence life. Number 5, institutional culture. You must know that Wits has got a very Anglican or Anglicized, which is colonized institutional culture. Number 6, institutional naming. Last week I spoke about Robert Sobukwe building block, the Solomon Masangu block as well, on main campus. Number 7 is language. And number 8 is insourcing the outsourced. Now, because I can't talk to detail, this is very important as an overview for how Wits thinks of itself in terms of the transformation agenda. And because I'm looking at time,
we've only got 1 minute left.
I want to say a sentence on, is Wits relevant for decolonization? Given everything that I've just said now, I can, without fear or favor, without flinching, tell you that Wits University is far from actually talking decolonization. They still need to take that agenda seriously. They have not even begun to scratch the surface.
Okay. That's where we're going to leave it. I certainly am going to send this podcast to someone in the Vice Chancellor's office, and let's see, we might get comment back from them. But thank you indeed for this amazing piece of history, our history here in South Africa, and look forward to talking with you again next week. Thank you so very much for your deep insights and the hard work, the research you put in to bringing these issues to the table for us here at Salam Media. Go well until next week at the same time. As always, Salam Alaikum to you, Dr. Moloi.
Inshallah ta'ala. Allahu Akbar.
9:45 exactly. News and views right here